just do the inversion. It's fine. It's all right.
Is this all right?
Yeah, you can bring it closer to you a bit if you want. Stand it up right. Just need that basically the design there.
Oh, sorry. Right, I see.
Yeah, because that's
that fiddling bit.
Yeah, it's got a polarity on the microphone, which it took us a while to figure out that they actually.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a proper white belt move, kind of.
I like it.
But yeah, so. New episode of the Bad Jiu-Jitsu podcast, and you may have noticed that me and Matt are on the wrong side of the table this time, but it's because we have Steve Henshall here for a visit.
Yay! Finally! Gaffer's in.
Yeah, best behaviour. Gaffer's seat. Yeah. He's got the boss seat. So I think we're going to just do 3 episodes, but we're going to do back to back. Might do it as one, separating them, but we'll get on with that. And we'll just go through the subjects. As Martin has stated in previous episodes, I have a list of questions.
Right.
Because I'm fucking, you know I'm a pain in the arse, Steve. You know I like to talk.
I do have tea plans.
Yeah. We might be able to make it, but yeah. So I think first things first, with what's going on around the social media aspects, what the work you're doing, the project that you're doing, is we'll just start with Ikigai, because Ikigai Submission Grappling is your promotion that you started about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, about 2 years old.
Yeah. So
when did you get the idea when we were like really interested?
Just it's funny this. I tried starting my own promotions. It was an MMA show back then, 8 years ago. It literally came up on my Facebook the other day. You know when you see
the memories.
Yeah, the memories. Yeah. And it was saying it was going to be at Bowler's Exhibition Centre, white collar MMA show. And it just flopped hard. It just absolutely didn't even get off it was like off the starting post. But it's all the time. I always knew that I wanted to dip back into it, but it was just kind of getting the right time. And then obviously COVID took years of people's, not being able to do anything. Then obviously focusing on my own gym and building this up. But the time was right to really, have a go at it a few years ago. And it wasn't even any really the bigger shows. It was more the local, small sub-onlys. When it had an atmosphere more of like a night out, and I thought, I could put one of these together. Do you know what I mean? I like this. I'm enjoying being here, and I've got the lads. I reckon I know a couple of venues that I love it. Let's just give it a go. Yeah. It really has not started as anything. It didn't start as anything that I really thought would progress the way that it has. I thought we'd just be in Newneath Catholic Club round the corner, like 180 people max, and we'll just carry on. But it's just took on a bit of a life of its own with kind of the business structure that I jumped into after a couple of shows. Yeah. It's kind of took on a bit of a life of its own, and then now we are going to Bowler's Exhibition Centre. Big.
You made that first time you tried it. You went straight for the big jump.
Yeah.
That stumbled. Now you've basically done the fundamentals. Yeah. Got it all sorted, and the way that you've done it and the locations that you've chosen have always been your personality. It's that culture of, we've touched on it in one of our little chats, where it's it's council estate lads, it's you build it up in the local your local Catholic club, and then you've gone to like a civic hall, which is going to be the next one at 6 and 6 is going to be there, and then you've now moved up to Bowlers for 7, haven't you? So
it's the way to do it. Like I said, learning on the job, and you've got to make loads of little failures and loads of. Remember the first one that we did. So, we've done a couple of shows there, but the very first one, the warm-up area, was basically in the corner of the room, in the room, and all the spectators just moved over, because it's one of the things that for some reason just completely escaped my mind, like where they're going to warm up, and I thought, well. And then went in where they was all throwing the bags on top of fridges and beers, and all. It was rough.
You get that in normal competitions, big mass, and then in the corner they warm up.
Like Empire and Grappling is.
Just do it. True. It's just. Looks a little bit different when everyone's trying not to spill beers on them and stuff like that, stuff around them like this, and all shooting at each other. It's like, it's a bit rough. And then, to be fair, from kind of number 4, I think it was, I think we'd maxed out that, and it being a local show. If I would have folded then, or we'd run with it and make it big, I'd have thought, you know what, I think with this bonus structure, I'm onto something that's... It's not the best business structure in the world, but it's the one that I've decided to run with, where I go, okay, this amount of ticket sales will pay all the overheads, and big bonuses will be able to do it, and we've just run with it from there.
It's not like it's some top secret business structure. You're very transparent with what you do with it, aren't you? So if you like to go through, say just for a super fight, just a normal fight for a £250 bonus, and then the difference that you have in that with the tournament that you're doing?
Okay, so say, I think we started off with, like, when we was in the Catholic club, because obviously we have limited space as well, it was 3 ticket sales and you're competing for 100 quid.
Yeah.
And then we moved venue, a little bit bigger, okay, it's 5 ticket sales each, and it's 250 quid bonus. And then now we kind of go with 10 tickets, 500 quid.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
I think the main event was 15 tickets and you win £1,000.
Yeah.
And now the tournaments, it's basically like I was saying before, something that I entered years ago. I think Lloyd Cooper's on it, Fian Davis on it, you know, they had like a women's one, we had a man's one. And we all put 250 quid each in, and the winner took £2,500.
Yeah.
And it was a great show. And then no one really done it since, but that 250 quid was like out of my pocket. It was I think at first it was called Put Up or Shut Up.
Yeah.
And then it changed its name, so it was like, okay, we got a bunch of guys that will put in 250 quid, or it might be £2,000, whatever it works out at. And we all put it in and the winner takes all.
Yeah.
Whereas with mine I thought, okay, we can do that, but if the athlete's not got to pay for it, he's got family and friends that will come and support him, and then you're in for free.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically people that will come and watch you anyway.
Yeah.
And if we can make it a spectator sport, have it in a boozer, have the music on, have it something that is spectator friendly, and then people will want to come.
Yeah.
There's a reason why no one wants to go to women. They'd rather go to MMA and boxing. It's because it's shit. It's go and stand in a sports hall watching jiu-jitsu with a coffee in your hand all day, and it put most people to sleep. And jiu-jitsu's my life. But I'd be just like, right, there's only so many matches you can watch. You need a bit of music, you need a bit of entertainment. You need that bit of pub environment kind of thing. So if we can just go down that direction, I said there's a few shows that I watched that I enjoyed the atmosphere of, but you've got to look at things like darts, how terrible of a spectator sport that actually is. It's two generally fat, out of shape old guys doing that at a dart ball. How shit is that to watch? But you bring, all the production, everyone dressing up, you make it a night out, and you can't get a ticket to the darts. It's sold out all the time.
It's not a spectator sport, but it's a spectator event.
There you go. So that's the difference. So that's what I was looking kind of across at things. I'm going, we can do this with jiu-jitsu, but then to make it more exciting, money has to be earned, which is why I'm not just doing it. People will be, one of the first things what I get, one of the assumptions that I'm getting made is, the amount of money you're giving out, you must be loaded, which anyone knows that's not true. And like, you must be earning a fortune. Then you'll have to do your figures. Like, I'm not. Yeah. Look at what it costs to put all this together and how much I'm actually paying out. Yeah. I'm really not. And the 3 months of work that I've got to do, I'm on minimum wage. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If that, probably not minimum wage. So it's not a big money spinner, but it's just something that I want to do because I'm invested in making Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition grow, because I've had this club for getting on a decade now. Yeah. And the amount of times that I've had like a white belt, a purple belt, a white belt, blue belt, sorry, they're killing everyone, they're competing all the time, and then they sort of run out of steam after about 5 years because there's nothing tangible to be won. You can't say, if you carry on the way you're going, mate, retirement, big house by the seaside, like, no, you're gonna have a big collection of 50 mounts and knackered knees, and that's about it. Then you're gonna have to go and get a real job when you're 40 with no real transferable skills. I mean, I know jiu-jitsu does have transferable skills in terms of like mental fortitude and other things that you can say, but it's not something that you can easily straight away take to market and just go, okay, all the things I've learned in jiu-jitsu, I'm going to go to the office with now. It isn't, do you know what I mean? So you put a lot of your life in for nothing. So I'm sick of losing people and I'm not really having anything to say, whereas now you go, mate, you compete for 10 grand next week. Everyone in the gym will come and support you, so you don't have to worry about the tickets. Let's go. And then that then in turn helps me grow, helps the club grow, helps, every it's good all round for jiu-jitsu. When I said, like, I was having a bit of a joke with the progress lads at the Commentary, said, copy me, well, it was a joke. So they put on a 5 grand thing, obviously I know Mark and that. Yeah. And I said, no mate, listen, the more comps that do this, the better for me. If there's one every week, I imagine it's then young competitors can legitimately say, no, I'm just going to quit my job, train full time, get a few £100, maybe win 3 big tournaments a year. And that's it, and then now it'll build and it will be something to aim for. It's the reason why people end up going to MMA and other things, because after a while, and you don't even get any, like, it's not even like you get any status. You go and work and tell everyone, I won the IBJJF blue belt mid-heavy worlds the other day, or whatever, you go,
Okay.
It don't gain you anything. Whereas if you said, oh, it could be an amateur title that, you know, people in the game know, it doesn't matter, you can be 1-0 with an amateur title. And everyone's he's the guy. You know, it don't bring you anything at all. So something has to change. And like I said, mine isn't the best. I'm not saying it's the perfect business structure, but it's the one that it's the one that's leading to how big we're growing at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I said, noticing the round being copied a little bit, which is great. It's good for jiu-jitsu. It's good for me as a jiu-jitsu club owner.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Well, there you go, I'll take that.
But yeah, so you mentioned now you've got this passion for it. So what does Ikigai actually mean? Because I know what it means, but for everyone that doesn't know what it means, it's that.
It's based like someone who speaks like real Japanese, my God, that's not what it means. But what I've seen kind of on Google, roughly translated, is basically like, do what you love, get paid for doing what you love.
Yeah.
So that to me just made sense to have, okay, we're going to kind of run with this.
Yeah, and it's got that thing on it as well of make the world better as well.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing for the guys in jiu-jitsu with this money, by giving them that much money and be able to change their lives. Because $5,000 from 6 is going to change lives, and $10,000 from 7 is going to change lives.
It's a lot of money. $10,000. Someone came and handed me $10,000 now. That's a lot of stress off my shoulders for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way you've got to look at it. I'm not saying it's not retirement money, but it's definitely your life's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Someone comes and you
it can if you get that at a young age, if you've got $5,000 at 20, that nudge that it leads to when you're in a position at 50, it's going to be a positive nudge for anyone that's going to, you know, got a bit of brains about them, or, you know,
which isn't most 20-year-olds.
Well, if you're in jiu-jitsu, at least you know you're not going to be spending on booze and drugs.
At some point, we just start doing belts saying Ikigai.
Massive Ikigai belts. So with 6 around the corner, how are you feeling about it? It's only 4 weeks away now.
Yeah, you know what? The work's done now. It's kind of, it almost feels like I should be really busy now because it's getting close. But actually, the lead up, the months before it are the busy ones. Getting the competitors, getting everything out to make sure everyone's happy, getting the venue, getting the staff. Then when everything's done, it's kind of the day before will be a busy day.
Yeah.
But this now is kind of just feet up and just waiting for someone to message saying we'll have to pull out, and that's bound to happen. You know, and then trying to find somewhere else. That's the only little bit of stress you have. But now there's nothing really to do. You know, everything's kind of done in that first couple of months, and then
I remember the thing. I remember the social media post when you first put it out there, and it exploded a bit with like, I think, you know, I just looked at one day and it was like, oh, there's like 100 comments, and then I woke up the next morning and looked and I was like, 500 comments. It's caught people's imaginations, hasn't it? So
and that kind of gets
memes.
I
know, that's
a message all the time. So, and obviously about my own clubs and stuff like that, so you have to kind of go, okay, I'll let these build up, and at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, or 7 o'clock, when the kids are in bed tomorrow night, I'll start
committing that time to it.
I'll get back to everybody. But you know, you get people nudging you or sending you question marks, like, hey, you're one of 600 people that have messaged me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not literally going to do this every minute of the day. And I've kind of had to balance that at the beginning, because at the beginning I was just super excited, wanted to get back and not lose and get back to him. Now it's just like, I'll get back to you when I'm sat there on my phone concentrating.
So when you get these competitors, when it's the day, so we're looking May 3rd, everything's starting going, everyone's in, place is booming. What do you want from the athletes? Like, literally, what is the best thing? If they came out onto the mats, and their behaviour, what is it that you're looking for that can make your life easier, but also builds up?
Be professional, obviously, in the lead up. Don't be messing me, I'm late and this and that. You know, just like the silly things, but which you're expected to do. Be on weight, all that stuff. You know, people messing me, I'm 15k overweight. It's like, why? Do you know how, you couldn't do that last month, you know what I mean? Just, why have you told me today? But anyway, the little things that which we try and mitigate by saying, okay, well, I'll message your opponent. If he still wants the match, and you win, you're not getting the bonus because you're 15 kilograms heavier than him. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of mitigates that a little bit, where people kind of, okay, I will be on weight. And come out, as regards the day, come out, get the crowd into it. It's a spectator sport. Come out to some. I literally said this to Reno last time. Listen, my taste in music is all over the shop. Do you know what I mean? I like everything. but there's a certain tone of music that we want. People coming out to real heavy, like death rock, and it, like most of the crowd kind of out like this. It didn't really get. Come out to something that gets everybody behind you, you know, and gets kind of crowd going, do your bit, and then obviously if you want the bonus, get after the sub. That's again another reason why I made it that. If you just made it a point system and you'll get a win, it's just the same as everything.
If people play for points, it's going to be that entertaining.
It's just going to kill it. So it's like last time people were winning, I think Cal won. Was it Gavin
Stewart?
Was it? Yeah. I think he beat him like 30 odd seconds left, that might be. Unless everyone's got looking at me going, are you gutted? I had to go and give him a grand. I went, no, I'm buzzing.
Because that was a good match.
I said, that's soon as all them, honest to God, soon as all them envelopes are there, that's spent money to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't even look at it again. If I get, it's a gamble. If I give them all out, I'm quite out of pocket quite a bit. Yeah. If I don't, if you give like 70% out, I've broke even-ish. If you give 50% out, I've earned a few quid myself. Do you know, and that's the way it works. But I am happy to give out bonuses. I don't want 30 matches on, no one gets a sub, no one gets a penny. I go on loads of envelopes, what mine. It's not sure it's crap. What it's about. We want to give money to people, want to buzz in and go in, just come up here, sub someone in whatever, a minute, just got myself 250, 500, £1,000. Like I said, for the bowlers one, aside from the tournament, we've tiered it now to if you're a small ticket seller, 250 quid bonus. If you're in the middle, you can sell like 10, 500. If you can sell more, I think it might be 15 or 20, I can't remember. Might have been 15. You compete for 1,000. And in every one of them, we earn a little bit more, which goes towards all the costs that we've got to pay. And, you know, people judge you for this, but, you know, I might get 50 quid out of that goes in my pocket as well for working for 3 months. And people really grudge you about it. They're going, well, shouldn't I? I'm working. Do you know, but I guarantee you, if you come and win 10 grand, I guarantee you I haven't earned as much as you. That's what it is.
If everyone takes home some money, you're not making as much as the referee.
That's what it is. Exactly. Sean and the DJ are the proper breadwinners on it. I'm like, I'm lucky if I break even.
we're playing smart at that. So with the, as you said, subs make the money.
Yeah.
With it being a tournament, you can afford to have winners without paying the money because you have to win to go to the next round.
Yeah.
So you have a judging criteria, which is driven for action. So it's mainly 3 points. And you mentioned it on your post on your Instagram, and it's
as anyone may or may not know, Sean's the gaffer on the referee. So you come up literally with the system for judging and just said, like, you know, obviously sent over to me, said, do you think this works? It was like, perfect. Because what we don't want it to do is go stale because it's not sub only. It's like if you're hunting for subs, that gets the most points, you know, and then it'll just be collectively, there'll be a few of us that'll say, he won. But then, so you'll progress through, but then the final is just sub only. So no time limit, someone has got to definitively win to get the money. And I think that's the fairest way to do it, because once it comes to the final and someone's worked all the way there, if they feel like they've been maybe robbed a little bit, it only causes drama. It's like, no mate, you got choked out, it's over. You know what, tapped out, there's no argument about it.
The judges aren't going to give you the money, you need to take it.
Exactly. And that's I think that works fairest.
Yeah, it really does. I'm totally in agreement with it, because it's just the way that it needs to be. And you've always had it as a sub-only competition. So, and the biggest prize for 5 grand is going to be the biggest prize, and for that money to go in any way other than a sub just goes against the entire spirit of the Ikigai, doesn't it? So.
Obviously, few people said, well, why don't you make every match sub? And I was like, because we'll be here forever. God knows when we're going to be at. That was one of the problems with, I think it was called Densetsu. I think every match was no time limit. And it was, I was in it, it was boring. I remember being in kind of, I think it was Sean McDonough in his like half guard for about 18 minutes. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. Do you know what I mean? And that's. I eventually just dived off for some. This was going back to, God, like I said, 8-9 years. I didn't know what a leg lock was. And I dived off for a leg lock just because I was trying to make something happen, and then got caught in a bit of a scramble with a triangle. I think I might be a triangle armbar, but I got caught anyway. But that was just honestly out of sheer boredom. I've been here for cracking on 20 minutes. The crowd's gone silent. The MC was kind of going, show some love for Henshall, show some love, just trying to get them going every couple of minutes. I thought, this is painful, you know, this is just...
And then when you're on the mat, you can feel that energy just lulling, and you just
people just going, I'll just go on the toilet break on this one.
when you're on the mat, you can hear someone talking about what they're on.
You could hear a pin drop. It completely killed it. So even though what they've had there is kind of the basis of a really, really good idea, it just wasn't executed as well as it could be.
Yeah.
You know, if you, rather you've got 6 minutes to get some sub attempts, get some positional dominance, people are going to go at it.
Yeah.
I had it before that on the first one. I don't think you used to have all the matches were 8 minutes, but there was 2 or 3 minutes of pushing and shoving. Yeah. And then when you kind of see 5 minutes, 4 minutes, go, right, let's get into it. You know, when they realise no one's giving up a bad position.
You want that sense of urgency there, don't you?
6 minutes is like, you're going to have to get after it straight away, and that's made for better
spectator friendly,
yeah.
It's got to be spectator friendly when it's a boring sport to watch if you're not into it.
If we are built on ticket sales, like I said, might not be the best business structure, but it's the one that we've gone with. And if people don't want to come and watch it, it folds. It's as simple as that. So you got to find the good matches.
Yeah. That's it. You've not got a merchandise or anything like that. It is always about the event and what the event can bring in. And
compare you, I think now to maybe CGI or whatever. They compare you to kind of huge shows. You go, well, they don't do it. They go, no, but they've got a television deal. They've got revenue streams. Yeah, they've got like some Saudi oil baron behind them saying give someone £1 million or whatever it is. I've not got that. It's just
you'll see from Manchester.
Yeah, that's it. I've got a gym in a council estate in Manchester. It's like, trust me,
everything in time.
Yeah. One day maybe, but there's no backer. There's nothing. It is as simple as that. There's the revenue. There's what goes out, and it's simple. You can do the math yourself. You can see what actually is left over from the tickets and where it's going. It's all around you. You know, again, bowlers to see 1,200 people. I think it seats on the tables and the production what they're going to put on. It's not cheap. You know, these things are not cheap. So this is, that's where the extra money goes. Of course, I can't charge you to the penny for your bonus.
Yeah.
You don't say, okay, it's 250, so we have to sell between these 125 quid's worth of tickets, because then who pays for everything else?
Yeah.
You've got and you're not paying for it. Spectators are like any spectator sport. Yeah. It's mad that you got to go over this, but people don't get it. Any spectator sport, the spectators pay for the event. That's what it is.
Even ones that are which we call friendly events, which are the Empire and the grappling industries. Even at IBJJF, these more sporty based ones, they charge entry for spectators. Yeah. So it's like
charge you on a stand there, charge you everything's they're on every angle charging people. Why shouldn't they? Of course they should. It's a business. You don't understand that. I tell you what, don't charge anyone for stalls, don't charge any spectators, don't tell competitors that they have to meet minimum ticket requirements and put up 10 grand as well and get the venue. And we'll see how long your show lasts. Unless you've got a bottomless pit of money, not very long. You'll be out of business.
And you've got 120 people watching.
That's it. And like I say again, spectators now, nobody cares paying 25, 35 quid for a ticket. No one's bothered. If anything, the same amount would come as if it's free. People don't value free.
No.
If you said it's free entry, I might go, I might not. When you got a ticket, it's I'm going. Pay for this. I'm looking forward to it.
Especially if there's a bar there and they can have a night out. And that's it. They just justify it as a night out.
Well, sometimes they don't understand what's happening on the match because it's jiu-jitsu. And especially it gets even worse when you 2 guys in the gi.
Have you had a gi match on it?
No, you're not.
I think I was planning to have a gi match on it. I had 2 older blokes on it. That wanted a gi match, 2 good black belts. I think Rodrigo Antunes is doing a gi match on the next one.
He's main card at 7, isn't he?
6-degree black belt.
Former world champion.
Legend of sport. I was buzzing to get him on. But to get him on, I've had to change the structure slightly because he'll bring more eyes. He's got quite a lot of affiliated gyms around Manchester and stuff, so he'll bring a lot of people. So I'll give him a better ticket deal, better this. You've got to do what you've got to do when you give him a seminar at the club. Just stuff like that. But that's, again, that kind of goes against, if I'd done that for everybody, again, we'd go under. I think that's what a lot of these kind of competitions try and do. They start getting into an ego battle with other comps, like, okay, well, I want this guy, I want the best guy, and then they start changing the structure what got them there in the first place, and then they go under. So I can make the odd exception here and there on each card because I'm covered in other ways, but it won't happen often. We'll be pretty militant about the structure of it.
I think you've had some. I think you mentioned there's some names that have been out there who are up and coming names within the country in Britain for their jiu-jitsu, who then criticised having set ticket sales requirements. But it's like, no, you need to sell. It's like if you're a big name, you can sell the ticket.
Yeah.
That's the thing about what's his name that you got for the 7.
Rodrigo,
yeah, he can sell it. You know he can sell the tickets.
He said, I've never competed in England. I've never competed in front of my affiliated clubs. I think it's Predator, Scorpion, Grapple House. A lot. He said they'll all come. Someone else will sort out tickets for me, but they'll all come. So okay, I'll give you X amount from each ticket then, because you're going to sell a lot of tickets. I can't send them over to him from Brazil and say you're flying anyone over here. Obviously not, but that's the way it's managed to work this time.
You've got flexibility there.
I said it to Ashley Williams, I spoke to him, and he was sound. He messaged me before he'd been signed to one, I think, saying, I'll come and compete on your show. I just say, look, you're a big name, but I can't afford to pay your show money and stuff like that. It doesn't really work like that. I'll give you a better ticket deal than a seminar. The other little extras that I can kind of manage to, I'll do. I don't mind making a loss on your match. I can make it up elsewhere. And then absolutely sound, it makes perfect. As long as it don't cost me to compete, I'm not bothered. And I thought, that's it. That's who you want to deal with. Do you know what I mean? That's who you want to deal with. If he rocks up, does a seminar, gets $1,000, wins $1,000 on a match,
get some footage for a highlight.
He's happy enough. It's a couple of grand for a morning's work is not bad for anybody. I know.
That's very good.
That's it. And you get others that I feel like are just kind of pricing themselves out of it. You're like, we're not there yet. No. There's a ceiling. The difference between what some random purple belt might earn because he sells loads of tickets, got loads of mates, and what a top black belt might earn on any given show might be very similar. But it's like there's just kind of a ceiling because you're not going to sell 5,000 tickets. If you do, all right, let's get the bigger venue. Let's do it. But you're not, and you're not. You're a massive name. You'll probably sell.
Do you think Gordon Ryan couldn't sell 5,000 tickets in the UK?
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's just not that many people that are interested. And again, if he did, he'd want every single penny of it, and then some, because that's the value that he's got. Yeah. But most people, it's like, well, you'll have to pay me show money, but I can't really sell any tickets. And like, well, you bring no value to the show. I know you're a decent name, but you've not. No one's queuing behind you in Starbucks asking for your autograph. Yeah. No one cares. You're a jiu-jitsu guy. A few jiu-jitsu guys like you, but if they're not willing to travel and have to come watch you compete, they don't like you enough. Yeah. You just don't bring the value to the show other than you're a good name.
It's still early days for jiu-jitsu as a entertainment show, isn't it?
So you need to know how to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but again, that comes back to no problem. If it's, don't worry about the minimum requirements. I know 100 people come over, okay. But when you get them going, don't think you shift 10 tickets, but I'm a big name, I've won X, Y and Z, I'm like, well, you're not a big name, eh? Yeah. You can't shift 10 tickets.
Is that thing I think we've had discussions about these up and coming athletes, especially with the ones in the attic, where it's about getting them, like, using your social medias, raising your profile, because your profile is what's going to get your ticket sales and get you on shows and give you opportunities.
Of course.
So, and it's a really big thing, and it's just these opportunities that you're giving with Ikigai 6, where you've got 16 guys, blue belts going for the $5,000, and then you're going to have purple belts in 7 going for 10 grand. It's like, these are opportunities for them because people look at the money.
Yeah, of course.
And if they're not taking advantage of it, they're losing out. So
well, it's full instant. You'll get some people that messaging and go, I don't know, I can't really sell. The 20 tickets that we've got, like I said, it's nothing. It works out, I think, 11,200. There's 20 tickets. 10 grand of that's bonus money gone instantly. But yeah, you're saying it's some people, I'm not too sure about. And you get another guy, no, mate, I'll need 50.
Yeah.
So who we're going to pick? Doesn't matter how many you say gold medals that you won or whatever else. It's somebody is absolutely no problem. Yeah. Send me them. They'll just try to pay for them up front. Done. No neither. Other people are like, I think it's cheeky expecting us to sell 20 tickets. If you feel that way, that's fine. Go another comp, but don't tell me how to rewrite my business. It's just mental.
That's it. The thing is, you're not running the comp. We've lent on the narrative that the $5,000 comp for 6 is the Britain's best blue belt. Yeah. We've lent on that, but it's got no official standing. No. We're not giving someone a medal and saying you are number 1 in the country. It's you're number 1 on the day that's turned up for this tournament.
Exactly.
But we like to sell the narrative. It's all about the propaganda and the marketing. But and some of these people, you're looking at the names on the post that you've recently done for 7. Yeah. Where these names going out, and I think there's a couple of people there. They've got at least 2 dozen names being their names posted that many times. It's like that's all well and good. it's like they might be a world champion at IBJJF, and it's like this tournament's not finding out who the world champion is. It's finding out who's willing to fight the hardest for 10 grand.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. I think that's why I literally put a post saying I don't care how many times you get tagged, because I think a few people have just been tagged all the time, and they'll message me. It's like, well, it's full now. Yeah. So no, it's like no, I am. You've got to get in touch with me. You can't just send me like interested. I'm not going to come and chase you. You've got to send it. Well, yeah, I'm ready to go, boss. But you know, when do you want the ticket? You know, just do everything right. Here's my photo. It's like, right, this guy's going to be easy to work with. Who do you want? Like I said, of course, we're going to go with the narrative. Britain's best blue belt. Yeah. Britain's best blue belt probably isn't in that tournament. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter. On that day, for 5 grand, they are in that tournament. You know, it is. However, you can just talk shit anyway. It's the internet. You can say what you want. I couldn't say the world's best blue belt. I could say whatever I like because it's the internet.
I could say about me, but we all know that's not true. I'm not even the best blue belt in the room. It's only us three, isn't it? But so I think you're just now 7. You've been having your applications for it.
Yeah.
Everything's still behind closed doors. Is there anyone interesting that people might know generally in there, or
there's a couple that have won a lot in competitions,
really caught your eye,
like that. But honestly, again, I've done this with the blue belt one. There's nobody that's the guy, and everyone else is just fodder.
Yeah.
Do you know? This is the problem that I had with the black belt tournament that I tried putting together for London. It will happen, 100%. I know the direction Ikigai is going in. I think we just need.
So London competition is going to be black belts?
No, I mean a black belt competition will happen. And we will do London as well, and we'll do Scotland, and we'll do a few things. I've got plans for where Ikigai is going, but it was either I had to find 16 run-of-the-mill black belts or 16 elite black belts. You can't have 15 run-of-the-mill black belts and one elite guy, because they'll just run for everyone. The money's this. Do you know what I mean? So when you start to get to like black belt stuff, you have to be a little bit more careful about like, okay, so I release, let's just, he never would, but Craig Jones, he's in it. Then what am I going to jump in? I'm not, do you know what I mean? I might as well just give him my money now. It's just not going to happen, is it? So you just kind of have that thing where you think, right, I've now got yet 16 quite run-of-the-mill black belts. Yeah. And that's what it's sort of saying, but blue belt, you can get away with it. Purple belt, there's some good guys at purple belt, you know, so again, it's just, but if you put your name forward, you should be confident that you're the best purple belt. Yeah.
The range of skill as you go up the belts just narrows down a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. Apart from when you actually look at elite athletes versus just normal everyday of a belt. So.
Different world altogether. Yeah. You get a guy who just trains 24/7 and competes, and that's his life. Yeah. Against most black belts, which are guys with other jobs, families, you know, and they do jiu-jitsu. They're
big difference.
I don't want to say time served in a negative way, because it's still, you know, there's a lot of good guys that have still got jobs stuff out, but they're not a full-time athlete that's training every day, that goes in the 6 a.m. class, then I do the weights, then I speak to a nutritionist, then I'm back on the mats, then I fly over to next week and train with them killers. They're the best guys, you know, and finding 16 of them, again, and if you say something like under 100 kg, they go, no, you need to make that a bit more. I'm a really good guy, but I'm only 70 kg. If a really good guy who's 98 kg comes in, I'm done. You know, it's tricky putting a black belt one together. I thought that'd have been the easiest one, but then when I've actually really thought about it, I thought, no, it's not the blue belt one.
When the wheels hit the floor, it's a bit,
That's what you find out. You just got to pivot. Yeah. Do you know, which you start it with this idea, but that's why I'm never bothered about things flopping. I tried doing the Ikigai Kids, hasn't come together this time around. Not to say it won't happen again in the future. You've just got to go with it. Said, okay, the 3 matches that are confirmed for that, I'm going to put you on the Manchester card. He's happy? Yeah. Right, I'll have to just put a pin in that one for now. We'll come back to it. But I never see it as like, oh, that didn't work, it'll never work. We'll go again, you know, in the future. Right,
I think we'll call time on this part of it, the Ikigai part. Okay. So if you'd like to just go through, when's Ikigai 6?
May the 3rd.
Upper Mill, just outside Manchester.
Yeah, Upper Mill Civic Centre at Oldham. Yeah.
And think any tickets still available for that, or is it?
No, I've not got many. I think that mine will be sold out. To be fair, they've gone pretty strict on.
I need one for sure.
There might be a couple knocking about, but I think there's names on them.
I think some of the competitors might still have tickets.
That's what I've got. Yeah, I've got to try and get back any unsold ones and see where we stand in the next couple of weeks.
So jump on your socials, grab the competitors if they want a ticket.
That's the one.
And that's the best way. And Ikigai 7 is
July the 19th at Bowlers Exhibition Centre in Manchester.
just near Trafford Centre.
Yeah.
So,
But it's not in the morning anymore.
No, we moved them both to evening shows. Think it'll work better.
Yeah.
It's trial and error.
Yeah.
No, we'll see.
People want to drink as well, so it keeps them in.
Plus beer tastes better in the evening.
Everyone knows that.
Over there kind of 11 o'clock in the morning sometimes. It's that healthy, is it?
But we'll have a quick break now, and then we'll jump on our next one.
Cool, man.
No worries. Cheers.